be taken seriously.
It's an insane thought.
on a spot.
It is. I mean, I'm just looking at the Eastern Conference standings, which the Islanders are involved in this. Every single team is either at or above 500.
Not a single team is below 500 in the East right now.
Yeah.
By the way, Sam, I actually wanted to make this note, so I'm glad you brought it up. Let me pull up the standings here with you. I don't think any team has half of their game play total in regulation wins. So the leader in regulation wins in the entire conference has 8. Okay, so New Jersey is above the halfway mark, but pretty much everyone's below. Like the Leafs, how many regulation wins in 12 games? 4. And that goes the same for most of these teams. Like Montreal, 4 regulation wins in 12 games.
Yeah, you're just talking about with John Michael Lyles. They've lost 5 times in overtime or shootout. Like, it's weird. A lot of overtime.
Tampa Bay, 4 regulation wins. All these teams that people are talking about how good they are. Detroit's played 13 games, 6 regulation wins.
Just one note on
crazy.
Matthew Schaefer here.
Ottawa has 4 as well on 13.
If you're the Islanders, I'm not even sure it's a great idea, for him to go.
Well, what's crazy is he can go play the World Juniors.
This guy.
Imagine. Send him back.
You still have to be very careful with this guy. This guy will hit a wall. And for some, you go like, oh, yeah, he's hit a wall. For some, it might not be as noticeable. He may be so good that when he does hit a wall or when he has that point in the season where it's not going well, he may be able to hide it a little bit more. But they all hit a certain point. It won't be this rosy for him either on or off the ice over the whole season. You gotta still want to protect this guy.
What a bounce on that.
Yeah, that one was lucky. The other
right?
one.
And speaking of sports gods, he's getting some bounces and it's going well for him.
Can I ask, do you think that there would be any value in him being like a taxi squad guy for the Olympics? Like just going and being around those guys?
I do believe that they
He's clearly a big part of the program.
Yeah, they do
forward.
consider that, and the maturity that he's shown certainly would lend itself to that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Celebrini too.
I was going to say, what changes things here is international competition is going to be a regular thing now. Every 2 years for the next 10 are basically planned.
And guess who's a big part of it going forward?
It's going to be Schaefer, Celebrini, Bedard.
Yeah, it's their team. It's
You
their
need it.
team.
So
in a few years, it'll be their team.
Getting their feet wet, or do you focus on just win this one and worry about the next one when the time comes? I kind of lean towards win each one the time it's up.
World Championship's good for development.
It's not a development situation.
Yeah, the Olympics, maybe send the best.
Yeah.
That's the next heartbreak coming for Canada.
Oh, my God.
Our thanks.
My last one.
Tough day.
So John Michael Lyles gave us a pretty good read into a very strong hockey club in Colorado.
It's good.
Sammy,
Yep.
still got an hour to go, buddy.
I'm
and
good.
It's on your Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leaf Hour edition of our program is up next as the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Pittsburgh Penguins get set to battle tonight. Don't go away. There's a game day, and it ain't on the diamond. It's the Leaf Hour edition of the Real Kipper and Bourne Show. Yes, we will talk hockey. We promise. We are live on Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet 590 The Fan in Toronto, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. And if you miss our show, you can always catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. This hour of Real Kipper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Toronto Maple Leafs, coming off a convincing win.
Yeah, let's
that
just
you guys tell me
let's
because
just tell everyone, if you want to hear our Jay's thoughts, it's in the first hour. Like a full half hour.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was 25 minutes of us.
Okay, so that's done.
But we may draw a few comparables between now and April.
Oh, I think that'll come up. I've already every time someone does it as well, I'm like,
Why can't
they
they
gave
be like
Robertson they gave Robertson a chance and he's doing well in the top line. I'm like, this is their like Addison Barger. This is Ernie Clement. This is Nathan Lucas. They found someone. They just needed an opportunity.
My question
There you
is,
go. So we're not done.
My question is, do you think that the J Shop will discount the World Series jerseys now? That they didn't win? No?
People are still proud to have those.
Yeah.
I know that might sound like loser talk. It's still
How about new? I still would like to get a World Series jersey, like with the little patch on there. I still would like to get that.
My next door neighbor gave his like young daughter his cap from like the 93 one
Sick.
or whatever. And I was like, I would love to have a piece of that. So yeah, I can see why it's still.
Yeah.
Where do you guys want to start? I think we've been kind of looking for a convincing win for 60 minutes in regulation. This clearly was it Saturday night.
Yeah. So I wrote an article on sportsnet.ca. It's for everyone who's been paying attention to the Jays and wants to check in on the Leafs and get caught up. You want to be a Leafs fan again?
Send me that link.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Thanks, bro.
All the things that are going on. I think start with the big headline. Austin Matthews looked good. Skating downhill, 5-on-5, shot a puck past a goalie. That was really encouraging. And then on the other side of the coin, Chris Tanev took another significant hit to the head, stretchered off, and they'll lose him. So
is that the biggest story here? I want to start with what stands out the most. Is it the fact that Chris Tanev is now back out of the lineup on IR, and what that does, or do you guys want to get into the? Let's just stick with Tanev right now.
Well, sure. Yeah, I think the fact that they looked like they did Saturday was the first time this year is a significant story for sure. But Tanev is obviously a guy that last year they counted on as their number one shutdown guy.
Yep.
Near the league leading block shots.
I'll start the conversation. I'm nervous for him.
I totally agree. After the last one that happened,
Yes.
and having 10 days apart, those two blows. That's pretty scary.
So, I did watch it multiple times. Incidental contact,
Like the response, even though it wasn't.
Listen, it's a significant hit. Everybody wants to kind of downplay it a little bit, but it was enough where you could get jarred, you could get twisted.
Coming from that kind of back side.
And, when you watch him being stretchered off the ice, the focus was the neck, guys, the neck. So I'm hoping it isn't concussion related and more precautionary on the neck.
There was a good comparison made that I heard, I want to say it was Jonas Siegel, that reminding of the Jake Muzzin situation. Remember, he had a concussion, came back, and then shortly thereafter got another one. His ended up being spine related, if I recall. He never played another game. And not to say that that's what this is, but you worry anytime you have these things in tight succession, and you're more susceptible with smaller hits, the more you have them. And he did have concussion issues earlier in his career. So, yeah, it's a significant concern, right? 5 more years in this contract, obviously a human being here that we're concerned about too. But from the Leafs perspective, as a hockey perspective, you're going to see a lot of Philippe Myers now. And that ain't Chris Tanev. That's for a decor that's not been very good. That's
just
just on that, though, you do have enough veteran NHL guys where you should be able to color it off, but that's something that maybe
short term not a huge problem. You're in a playoff series, you go, ugh.
Yeah, no, but that kind of, if this is going to be a thing, it's something maybe Brad has to look at.
The one thing that does scare me with Chris Tanev is the amount of physical abuse he's had the last little while. And I said it before this injury that I thought Florida just pounded the piss out of the Leafs.
Alliteration.
And more specifically, the blue line. And I think it was in that Amazon where Mitch Marner or somebody on the bench said, our D are getting hammered. We got to go and hit their D. Something of that nature. And whoever it was, I think was specifically talking about the abuse that Chris Tanev took.
Well, I wrote an article that maybe wasn't specifically on that, but certainly included it, about hits taken last year. And Chris Tanev took unbelievable amounts of contact last year because he's not a guy who throws hits. He's a guy who gets to the puck first, makes a small little play with the puck, and takes the hit, which is a very valuable skill and a courageous attribute, but certainly does add up. So, yeah, the Leafs are counting on this guy to be a shutdown guy they can count on.
Yeah.
But because of the way he plays.
And not just the way he plays, but the style of the Leafs defending. I don't know if it's harder on him in Toronto than it was in Calgary or Vancouver or Dallas, but it wasn't more. But at his age now, it is serious wear and tear on him. And he's not 27 or 28.
Nope.
And something's going to have to give here, or else this guy is just going to keep getting hurt.
Yeah.
Something has to change with the amount of abuse that you had mentioned, or the way they just defend in general.
The thing that sucks about it is, it's not a traditional play for him where it happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's too totally freak, like a little weird collision in front of the net that's head-on-head and then an incidental contact in the neutral zone. It's not like it was a guy who got the puck in on him and just ran him into the end boards and got him. It's two really weird, awkward collisions that have really caused this. So you hope those other ones start looking a little more scary. But
the one thing you can do is, we talked about them not having an F3 and not being great against rushes. If you have guys back, you can slow up the forecheck a bit. You can cut offs. You can just run interference and help your D out. So it's certainly something they need to do more of. Do you want to hear Berube, his overview of the game? Start from the top there, and we can start picking apart. Because to be honest, there's some real positives from this game.
Totally agree.
I think we should get to a few. Let's start with the overview.
I thought we were a little slow at the start, but got to our game. Way more direct tonight. I thought that our forecheck was really good. Our O-zone play was good. Just our PK was really good tonight. I thought we had a lot of people contributing tonight in the game, and our goalie was really good.
They gave up the first goal.
Yep.
Less than 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that wasn't great, but after that, kind of shut it down by and large. For the first time, I think, saw them hold the puck in the offensive zone a little bit more, carry some of the high danger stuff at 5-on-5. But hey, first thing I want to do is shout out, because I talked about at one point that Cowan didn't look physically ready or whatever. The last few games, I've changed my mind. It's a thing I do. I reserve the right to watch hockey, and he looks tenacious. He's making plays where other guys on this team don't see the ice like him. He can do it. I'm changing my mind. He can do it this year.
I think, to my earlier point about Schaefer, there's going to be lulls.
For sure.
There's just going to be those areas, those windows where it's 3 or 5 games, or you got to pull him out of the lineup, or you got to back his minutes off. But he's going to have to go through that roller coaster. I think it's pretty clear here that he ain't going anywhere, right? They're just going to deal with whatever they need to do to hopefully progress his development without sending him to the Marlies, or leaving long stretches where he's in the stands as a healthy scratch.
So something that Simmer said on the broadcast that really stuck with me, and something that I've noticed from him, is that, he's playing in the NHL for the first time. He's playing with a lot of really great players, and I think has deferred a lot and maybe passed in spots where he could shoot. And Simmer said on the broadcast, there's a instinctual play where you remember what you are, you get the puck and you shoot it. It felt like that was the first time where he kind of broke through something.
He shot one like that about 5 minutes prior in the game, and it's almost like that triggered and that's what I did.
I don't know if we have the clip of it or not. I didn't tell anybody to get it, but the reaction from Tavares on that is one that was able to warm my heart after the worst loss I've ever witnessed.
And he's
Tavares so happy.
Dude, he forechecked that puck. He tracked it down. He made a great play.
That's one of the best passes I've seen him make.
The two
off
of them,
the wall and into Cowan. That's what you want. I know those are hard passes to make, but that's the threat that I wish Tavares was more of.
Yeah, and listen, he made a pass out of his own end through his legs on the Robertson goal. Also, Cowan found Tavares. He walked it up top and went back across the grain, across the seam to Tavares' team. I was like, geez, that's the first time I can remember Tavares and someone kind of having a little thing going since Marner was on his line 7 years ago.
Yeah, and the elephant in the room is that looks like Willie Nylander is going to play tonight, and Nick Robertson is not coming off the top line.
So let's
big elephant.
You guys want to hear Berube on Cowan or Robertson?
Cowan. Let's do Cowan.
Yeah, he had a hell of a game tonight. Just the way he hung on the pucks and made plays and competed on the puck, and his stick details. He had a lot of good things tonight. He was a really good player tonight for us.
Hell of a game.
He's got an engine too.
That's Ruby doesn't say anything.
You've heard me say that on a couple players. He's got this motor, I think, that will keep him going.
Yeah.
And it's just
Catch and shoot.
it's the youthful enthusiasm. It's just all of it. It's needed right now on a team that sometimes has difficulty finding some emotion.
There you go. Great, tracks it down for Tavares and fix his spot.
It's a great shot.
Wouldn't say that's the finest highlight clip from Drysdale.
No.
It's a great shot, though.
It's a great shot.
Right under the
Like
bar.
that's how you become one of the greatest scoring junior threats